Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of my podcast series. Today, I'm joined by supply chain specialist Sumit Wadhawan, who is also my father. Hi, it's great to have you here.
Thank you, Wadhawan.
Okay, so you do supply chain, and I don't know much about supply chain. So, could you tell me what supply chain actually involves on a day-to-day basis, and what does a day in the life look like of a supply chain expert?
First of all, thanks for having me here on your podcast. I really appreciate the work you're doing. Not as a father, but of course, the kind of work you're doing, spreading the light of knowledge. Yes, to answer your question specifically, supply chain is a very, very vast field. I should say that everything which revolves, rotates in this world is moving with the wheels of supply chain. Let's say today I'm sitting with you and we need this painting or this. You can pick up any example. Let's say you go for a box of cereal in the morning. What you need is a bowl, spoon, box of cereal, milk, all right, and whatever additives you want to have, an apple or an orange or whatever you want to have in that. So that all goes in the line that you have somebody is growing those apples. There's a farm for the cows. There's a factory for the bowls, and etc. etc. So the demand is sensed, from the consumer by an organization that Mr. X or Mr. Arav today needs on a Saturday morning a box of cereal. So an apple, box of cereal, and how should I put it? Milk will be coordinated along with your cutlery. They will be bought by a certain company. It will be transported to one of the local warehouses. That's logistics.
Right, okay.
It will be stored there for a while. That's the warehousing part. So the warehousing part will come to the mall or a regular store on an e-commerce portal. So that's again logistics. So e-commerce portal will send it to you when you place an order for the simple box of cereal and milk and your cutlery. So that's entirely supply chain. So it's right from the upstream. Let me put it from the manufacturer side, logistics, storage side, warehousing, again to the consumer side. So that's end-to-end supply chain for everybody. So let's say somebody wants to have a beetroot juice. So the beetroots are grown in the fields, then they are bought by the farmers. They're plucked by the farmers. Then again storage and blah blah blah. And the same story continues till the end. That's how supply chain works. And a typical day of a supply chain, I should put it, it's pretty chaotic because what we are trying to do is trying to coordinate all the things, on your plate, on your table. Let's say for a shirt, for a house, for a car, anything, because you need to resource a lot of things to make a particular product. In a simple logic, if I put it, the IBM computer at one point in time had 522 suppliers just to make one simple PC. So if any guy who wants to manufacture or consolidate 522 parts in one factory at the right time, at the right place to make one simple laptop for you guys, it takes hell of a lot.
Okay.
It takes hell of a lot.
522 components is a lot.
And gentlemen, add to your more complexity, any aircraft has about 1.5 million parts.
Oh yeah, down to the screws, the panels,
everything. And please do not forget, everything has to be in the right precision.
I heard a story about this in Boeing or Airbus it was, and just a pellet of the wing, tiny scratch, plane grounded for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's supply chain's initiative that we ensure that everything which is moving in the world, all the wheels are rolling at the right time at the right place. So that's how supply chain folks are. Their days are planned, and their days are very, very hectic.
So managing like all these products, all the parts to make a product must be very chaotic, as you said.
Yes.
And I'm sure with that comes a lot of stress.
Yes.
And I think to minimize the stress which comes with coordinating all these products and the parts, you can use the help of AI and AI bots. So what do you think? How do you think AI will change the supply chain and logistics field for the better and for the worse?
That's a very good question. AI is the new tool what everybody is using. For people like us, for supply chain people, AI changes a lot of dynamics because our environment is very, very buoyant. It's always changing. It's always moving.
Right.
So what AI brings to us is an information. You see, everything in supply chain is right time, right place, right product, right quality. Okay. So let's say we take the example of tell me anything what you like right now.
We can go back to the IBM computer since we've already discussed that.
Lovely. So let's say we are looking for those 122 suppliers, and we have a demand of 100 laptops, all right, to be delivered, let's say, next month on a delivery span of 45 days. So what am I looking at? Currently, what we are doing is we are picking up the phones, we're calling up the guys, we are doing a demand sensing on basis the sales that, okay, fine, so many laptops are being required in the month of October and all that stuff. But today, AI tools are not only helping us in predicting our demand, in predicting our supplies, but it is helping us in coordinating with our suppliers, in coordinating, doing a demand sensing, not only from the market perspective, but also from the perspective of a supplier. Because when the procurement, when the manufacturing is manufacturing, making that product, and the procurement people are going to connect with those suppliers, the AI will tell us what is the demand sensing of the market and how much products are required, how many suppliers I need to touch base for making those 122 pieces, what is their timelines, and they're all coordinated through a system. A supplier sitting in a small city in Vietnam who's a supplier of IBM's a part number can also see where is his product, what is he, when is he going to get the order, what's the price, how the market is behaving. So all that information, like I always tell you, information is very essential and data is going to be the king. All right. So AI only supports us. AI only advances the revolution, the supply chain revolution, because we move from Industrial 1 way back in the mid 1700th century. Today we are talking about Industry 4.0.
Okay.
We are expecting Industry 5.0 where the machines are going to take over everything. We feel that machines are more of an assistant to us. They are not going to be giving us more tedious jobs. Rather, they'll be assisting us. It's a very simple case that the mobile phone directory is assisting us in giving us the phone numbers very, very fast.
Right. Okay. So you say that it is assisting us.
Yeah.
Could that also mean that at one point in time it assists us too much and takes our jobs? Because I feel like lots of people are concerned about AI replacing their jobs and just taking their jobs away and putting them out of jobs and making them poor. What do you think about that?
I must say that this question has been asked, in several forums, several the groups, that is AI going to really eat the jobs? You see, every technological change makes a wave of new jobs and waves of the old rudimentary kind of work. So yes, definitely, if the jobs are being wiped off, the new jobs are also being simultaneously created.
So one can, sorry to interrupt, but opportunities come as opportunities go.
Exactly, because if when the trains or the engines were made, people said to themselves, "Oh, we're going to be jobless." But those people who were working in the farms, they started getting work in the factories, right? So the cotton farmer was getting work in the cotton mill. All right. So that thing happens, and jobs one way are getting wiped off, the other way they are getting created as well. So my message to the young generation, or to the people who are in this current scenario and who fear for their jobs, gear up, charge up, because change is constant and constant is change. That's my answer.
Okay, so yeah, well, you say that we need to get up and we need to charge up.
Yeah.
So how do people get ahead of the curve, and how do we understand what AI is doing, and how do we control AI in our favor and not lose our jobs?
AI is, like I always tell you, that AI is a support. Calculator is a support to the person who's doing calculations. All right. Car is a support to travel. It is not the means that it will start eating up your job. This reminds me of an older film from the bygone Indian era. It was called Naya Daur, New Times, and there was a race depicted in that film between the farmer's bullock cart and a gentleman, he raced with his truck alongside the farmer's bullock cart. They were cured. There was chaos in the race. The farmer's bullock cart ran through a lot of hurdles in between. But at the end of the day, they both had a very close finish. All right. The message from that simplistic movie way back in the 1960s was very simple, that technology and human interface are going to work together. We've created the technology, and we will work technology will work as a support function to us, not overpowering us. So with the coming of AI, machine learning, LLMs, and all that stuff, I as a supply chain guy, I foresee that this is a support function which will be improving the quality of the work, improving the day-to-day lives, which I mentioned that yes, it is very chaotic. It will only support us in getting our job done much faster, easier, and better.
Okay.
That's the whole objective of AI.
Right, yeah. It will just increase the efficiency.
Absolutely.
So am I right in assuming that manufacturing is an integral part of the supply chain and logistics?
Absolutely, yes.
So with AI and robotics coming into place, I've heard that there's this thing called a dark factory.
Yes.
And brands like BYD, I think they're doing this in China, where the factory is just completely, there's no lights or anything, and the robots are making the cars. And I think normal factories, they might make 20, 30 cars a day. I think these robot factories are making around 140, 150 cars per day.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's better increase in efficiency.
Yes.
And I think that also creates new opportunities in terms of the repair people who do repair for the robots and the manufacturing of the robots.
Yes.
So the people who went from manufacturing car parts can now go to manufacturing robots.
Yes.
And I think lots of people had that problem with the dark factories, that the jobs were getting lost.
Yeah.
But I think, as you said, it creates new opportunities and people can actually go from one sector to another sector.
Absolutely, yes.
Can you give us any more examples of this and just debunk any myths about, all these robotics and AI replacements and losing jobs?
There are plenty. Let me frame this way. When I started my career, I started with the retail fashion industry. So the shirt or a t-shirt which you're wearing there's a button placket on it. So there were steps, there were mechanists, there were tailors who used to sew these. And with the progression of time, new machines started coming in with high RPMs and all that stuff started rolling in. So the time taken to make a button placket started reducing to quite an extent. Today, I think 4 or 5 years ago, I saw a button placket machine. All right, it takes in the fabric, of course, not by itself, but a tailor is feeding into it. Feeds the fabric into the machine. But the way it flips it, makes a stitching, and then flips it again, then does the outer stitching, and all that stuff happens in a fraction of a second. Another core example I can give you is you talked about the dark factories. Yes, dark factories are essential where the product line needs to be continuous, similar. All right, we're putting an assembly line. All right, if I take you to the assembly line function, dark factories are good over there, and they're very helpful because you're making a product over and over again. All right, but when it comes to specialization products,
Rolls-Royce is a handmade one, right?
Yeah, Rolls-Royce is a handmade product, but definitely Rolls-Royce is something which is not bought at a very commodity level. If I take in at a commodity level, let me give you another example. Heinz tomato ketchup company is using AI to segregate the good tomatoes and the bad tomatoes. How is it possible? Yeah. They've got scanners. They've done the picture feeding of the good, bad, what good looks like. In the world of quality, when I was a student of TQM, Total Quality Management, we were told that whenever you're in doubt, go back to your book. All right, and whatever doesn't follow the book is not up to the mark. So when I read that article about Heinz, I realized that yes, they must have done pictures. They must have done some data into the machine, into the algorithm that which can detect the good tomatoes and the bad tomatoes. So essentially, what the good tomatoes are getting into the factory for getting processed for ketchups, I'm sure there must be a way for the bad tomatoes also. So that's how AI enhances, supports the function. These are very basic examples.
I'm sure lots of places, if Heinz Ketchup can, use AI to help them segregate tomatoes, I'm sure lots of other people are also using
yes,
that.
a lot of innovation, a lot of technological advances are happening here.
So I think one industry which lots of people my age know about is gaming.
Yeah.
And I think AI is helping us in that also. I've seen lots of games which are using AI and stuff to just load the game better. Yeah. There's this thing called VSync, I think it's called. Yeah. And in that, basically AI loads more frames for you. So I think AI has so many opportunities and so many things which it can do to help us.
Yes, indeed.
Not only just in supply chain, but also in a very wide array.
Indeed.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move on to a little light-hearted though.
Okay.
Something funny.
Go ahead.
So you spent a multitude of years in the supply chain field. You have lots of experience.
Yes.
Can you name us just a funny story you experienced when you were, working in supply chain, and just a funny anecdote you have?
So I'll take you back to the era of when the e-commerce started coming into India. All right, and I was fortunate to be a part of a growth, early startup in the e-commerce world. And so we started doing EVs, scooters, that point in time. So we developed our own small little EV scooter with local mechanists and all that stuff, because the petrol scooter and the costing of sending that merchandise in a local area through a diesel or a petrol vehicle was not meeting the bottom line. So we decided that we are going to advent into EV. And that time EV was very, very new. And we didn't have any Chinese, EVs, what we have currently in India as of now. So we did a few trials run here and there, and we came out with a small little EV scooter, a machine fixed on a bicycle and stuff like that. So the funny anecdote happened that once the boy went to a village delivering a particular package. So the villagers got so excited seeing that EV scooty because it was not making any noise. So they said, keep the EV scooter with us and you can go and we'll drop you wherever you want to. So it actually happened. So he called us up that, look sir, then they're not giving my EV scooter. Can you come down here and sort this mess out? So I had to go there and I had to talk to the villagers and explain that what technology is all about. So that's the day I realized that how people perceive technology, how EVs will be perceived. Because in India, silent machines or silent vehicles were not heard of in that point in time. Today, EVs are everywhere, BYDs, from Teslas to everybody. So this is the one anecdote which I can just throw you off. In a very lighter manner, I saw this meme of this guy who always keeps saying whenever he sees something interesting, technologia. So I find that guy very humorous.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think this has been amazing.
Thank you so much.
You've given us lots of insights on supply chain, what supply chain involves, and how AI is going to change supply chain, and how AI is changing life as it is. You've given us some funny anecdotes about, your experiences in the supply chain field. And yeah, I think this has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on to our podcast.
Thank you,
you so much for joining in and watching the podcast.
Thank you.